Jennings made a brutal joke to super champion Adriana Harmeyer about losing her 15-day winning streak to Survivor alum Drew Basile. The post-game clip didn't air during last week's upset defeat, but was included in all its shady glory on Monday's Inside Jeopardy! Podcast. Jeopardy! Fans are more than clued in on June 19's shock episode, when 15-day champ Adriana lost to Drew, 22. Drew, the only person to ever be on Jeopardy! And Survivor, defeated Adriana in a runaway after she'd spent all of June as the champ. She looked distraught after losing but had plenty to be proud of, earning nearly $350,000 and the 11th longest winning streak in show history. That said, fans were not privy to what Ken, 50, said to her as the credits rolled. "I guess the tribe has spoken." Ken chatted with Adriana right after she lost in the never-before-heard clip. "How does it feel now being a 15-game Jeopardy! champion? You know how the story ends?" he asked. "Of course, I would have loved to keep going, but 15 is a nice good number, and I'm happy with that," she told the host. "You would like more," Ken said back. "But I guess the tribe has spoken." The audience gasped, and the players could be heard nervously laughing. Ken was referencing Jeff Probst's catchphrase on Survivor, "Of course, when someone gets eliminated." "Unfortunately," she replied with a deep sigh. "We'll see you in the Tournament of Champions, Adriana," Ken added more positively. Drew, what a fantastic win. Drew dominated his first match against returning champion Adriana, 34, and Tekla Sauter. Adriana, an archivist from West Lafayette, Indiana, was the shoo-in favorite to win her 16th game in a row. So it was quite a shocker when Drew, the first Survivor contestant to ever compete on the game show, snuffed her torch. In Double Jeopardy, the fatality moment came when Drew found the second daily double and fearlessly wagered $10,000. He beat Adriana in a runaway in the shocker of all shockers, and they awkwardly exchanged a painstaking handshake. As Alex Trebek used to say, "We have a giant killer on our hands, rarely as giant as this." Ken, 50, told Basile, referring to the win and his height at 6'6". After witnessing the huge upset to a Survivor alum, fans were shocked and voiced their reactions across social media. "I'm actually a little sad we're losing Adriana Harmeyer from a Jeopardy after so many days," one fan tweeted. "Adriana Harmeyer is always a champion to me," another person wrote. A third person said, "Weird sadness/nerd rage over #Jeopardy today. Well, I was expecting Drew to do well, but I didn't think he'd have a runaway. Hope to see him get at least 4 wins and make the TOC as well," commented another. "I like Drew. He seems like a goofball. I wonder if they asked him to stop pointing at the clues after the first break," wrote one more. Drew competed on Survivor Season 45 last year and has since proven his initial Jeopardy! Win was no fluke, as he has kept winning since. As of Tuesday, June 25, Drew has won 5 games and $91,283 total. This means he'll officially be in the next Tournament of Champions, with Adriana setting up a potential rematch. He's one of the rare giant killers or players to beat a long-running champ to not immediately lose the next game. The graduate student from Birmingham, Michigan's subsequent wins have made for splashy TV, with his third victory coming from an ultra-rare tiebreaker. His fourth win saw him nab 33 correct responses, a season record for any contestant. Some fans have called out Drew for showboating during his wins, pumping his fists and clapping for himself. I'm not a big fan of fist-pumping in sports, but especially not on game shows. I'm sure he's a perfectly nice kid and very bright, but his social immaturity shows, one Facebook user wrote. I love the exuberance of youth, and I'm amazed when someone that young is so knowledgeable. Maturity comes with age, defended another. Poor sportsmanship, wrote a third, to which a fourth replied, just overexcited. Not poor sportsmanship. However, Drew is getting the last laugh as he will now be in the next Tournament of Champions and is the first male to punch an official ticket. The other qualifiers for the next Tournament of Champions are Adriana, which means a rematch is on the board, 5-day winners Allison Betts and Dr. Amy Hummel, and Celebrity Jeopardy, S. Lisa and Walter. With 4 wins, Grant DeYoung and Amarka Curdy will likely join in as well. Drew opened up about going from Survivor to Jeopardy! With People magazine last week. It's a funny joke. 'Cause I gotta tell you, I am very tall. I'm 6 feet 6 inches, so I really stand out, Drew said. So it's giant in physical stature, but I hope to continue on with some great games to qualify for the Tournament of Champions. And they call me a giant in Jeopardy! Stature, a trivia giant taking out Adriana Harmeyer, obviously an extremely competent player with 15 wins. It's a good start. I see big things in my Jeopardy! Future. I hope to become a giant myself, hopefully one that does not get slayed. Drew also admitted that he plans to stockpile his winnings from the show and take his girlfriend on vacation, but nothing too fancy. Drew and his girlfriend Mary Grace met while he was pursuing his bachelor's at the University of Pennsylvania. He is now pursuing his master's in English literature at Oxford University in England. They've been together for 3 years. Haters have called me a know-it-all. Drew was announced as a Jeopardy! Contestant last month, and the decision instantly turned heads. After his Survivor season aired, he immediately got haters, who dubbed him a know-it-all. Drew, the youngest of his season, was booted from the top 6 but held his own. Drew would use history, philosophy, and other random topics to weave his experiences on the island and his mindset in the game into long soliloquies in tribal council. The haters have called me a know-it-all, Drew wrote on Instagram, announcing his Jeopardy! Appearance. It's time to prove them right. Drew isn't the only Jeopardy! Champ with a Survivor connection. Juvaria Zahir is the older sister of Omar Zahir, who competed on Survivor 42 in 2022. Juvaria won the Second Chance tournament and Champions wildcard, winning $100,000. He will go for win 6 on Wednesday's episode as he continues to outwit, outplay and outlast.